Hey guys, so for today's video, I thought we would talk about getting up earlier, waking up earlier. These are some of my favorite videos to watch, so I thought I would share my opinion on getting up earlier, reasons why to get up earlier, yeah, just what I do with my time when I get up earlier, because that was my biggest question going into wanting to get up earlier is what the heck do I do with that couple hours extra that's not on my phone, because obviously that's not the goal here. It's not to get more phone time. So I want to first, before you get annoyed at this video about waking up early, my earlier might be completely different than your earlier. I truly believe that not everyone is a morning person. I think everyone can be trained to be a morning person with time, but unless you want to do that, I don't think you need to do that. My waking up earlier, my goal time is 6 a.m. Your goal may be 9 a.m. But I just think not everyone is the most productive in the mornings. My boyfriend is a perfect example of this. He is a night owl and just is more productive in the evening, stays up later, sleeps in a little bit later than me. Just some people aren't meant for mornings, right? So whatever earlier means to you, that's what it means to you. But I think everyone can benefit from waking up an hour or two earlier to not only have time to do things that they want to do, but time to spend with themselves. As long as you're getting enough sleep. Don't go to bed at the same time and then wake up earlier without adjusting your bedtime, because that obviously needs to come into play, because you need 7 to 9 hours. The average adult human anyway needs 7 to 9 hours. So make sure you're still getting enough sleep, whatever that number is for you. For me, I see mornings as the ultimate me time, because I am awake before everyone else. I can just sit and spend time doing things that I want to be doing, working on goals that I have, doing things, getting things out of the way in the morning so I can enjoy my evenings more, because I am not an evening person. I do not function well. So I need to get all of my house chores and, work things done earlier in the day for me to truly enjoy my evening time. So I've watched so many videos on how to wake up at 5 a.m., how to get up earlier, all of these kind of videos, right? Like I mentioned, they're some of my favorite videos to watch because it always inspires me to wake up earlier the next day whenever I watch one of these videos. One thing that they all had in common though was a question of, what is your why? Like, find your why. Why do you want to wake up earlier? Why did you click on this video? I actually hated this question because it didn't make sense to me. It's like, what do you mean why? I just do. Like I know I want to wake up earlier, so that's my why, is I want to. But I decided to actually sit down and write out 3 reasons why morning time is so important to me and why I want those few hours extra in the morning. So I thought I would share with you my reasons why as an example, and then I encourage you to find your why. I know it's annoying. I hated that for so long. I watched those videos and I'm like, what does it matter? Why? But I think it's really important, because then you can revisit that list, or even just one item, whatever it may be, whatever your why is. I think you can revisit that and remember when it's like 6 a.m. or whatever time it is for you that you don't want to get out of bed, you can remember why you wanted to do it in the first place. My number one reason that I realized why I wanted to wake up earlier is to chase the best weather in the spring and summer. Obviously this does not apply to winter because it is dark at 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. So that's not applying to what I'm talking about right now, but I want to chase the best weather in the spring and summer. I am highly affected by weather. So in order for me to get any kind of nature time, I need to wake up earlier in the summer to go outside and to get sunshine and nature and the best cool weather. Because most of the days in the summer I don't like to leave my house, because obviously I work from home, so I have the convenience to be able to do that. But if it's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm not going to leave my house pretty much. So in order for me to ever escape, I need to wake up earlier to chase the most beautiful weather of the day. The second most important reason why I want to wake up earlier is because I need that alone time. And no matter what, I am guaranteed that time if I wake up at a certain time in the morning. No matter if I have a whole day booked with friends or family. It could be I'm going to San Francisco for the day. Like, it could be an extravagant, that's not really that extravagant, but it is to me as an introvert. But even if I have plans that day, if I wake up at 6 a.m., I have a couple hours to myself no matter what. Like, no one can take that away from me, and I will be guaranteed alone time and me time, which is crucial for myself. But I also think it's important for everyone, even extroverts, to get this alone time to work on their goals that they have, you know, their personal goals. And the third reason why I want to wake up earlier is because I find that I have the most energy in the morning and I am the most productive. So I want to use that energy and, you know, drive for productivity to utilize it for good things, not just scrolling on my phone in bed for an hour. I want to get up and, you know, work on things and do stuff, you know, which we'll get to what I do in the morning. I love waking up and just like getting to it and just doing what I need to do for the day, and then by noon I'm like, I'm done chilling. So that's my why. I recommend for you to sit down and come up with your reasons why you want that extra time in the mornings. But now let's focus on the what. What are you gonna do with your free time? That was my biggest, you know, predicament, because I would wake up and I'd be like, all right, I'm up. What am I gonna do? Obviously, I don't want to sit there on my phone and scroll social media. That's not why I got up earlier, you know. In fact, I recommend not touching your phone for an hour. I have a time. Usually I will check things by 8 a.m. And if I woke up at 7 that day, I'll wait until 9 a.m. to go on my phone. So I don't let other people influence how I start my day, if that makes sense. And one thing that I like to do if I'm really struggling with this, because I have my days, I have my moments where I just need to go on my phone and check social media. It's just such an urge. We all have it. But one thing that I like to do to combat that, if I'm just really feeling the urge, is I put my phone on airplane mode. Now this makes you inaccessible to everyone, which isn't a bad thing. Usually if you wake up early and, you know, your family and friends aren't up, it's probably not gonna have, you're not gonna have like an emergency situation. Like what are the odds that someone's gonna need to contact you at 6 in the morning? I always have my phone on Do Not Disturb, so people can get through if they call more than twice, which is kind of annoying for them, I'm sure. But I just like to not be bothered with notifications or phone calls or emails, or I have all my social media turned off. It's just, I don't need any of that. I've had Do Not Disturb on my phone for months, probably over 3 months now, just straight, just off. Never turn it on. Anyway, there is an exception to this. The reason why I like airplane mode is because it turns off all the Wi-Fi and internet, so you can't access any of your apps, but you can look at your Notes app, which I use my Notes app every single day. It's my favorite app on my phone. That's lame. I don't know, just scroll through my Notes app instead of social media, because my Notes app is much more positive and better for me to look at first thing in the morning. So I'll go ahead and give you my list of 10 things that I like to do in the mornings with my extra time. Granted, it's going to be a work in progress, because I can promise you I have days where I don't want to do anything on these lists, because I specifically chose things that aren't absent-minded, such as watching a show. I wanted to have things to do that were productive, whether it be on goals of mine, working on myself, working on my environment, things that were productive but not difficult to do first thing in the morning. Like, you don't want to wake up and immediately do work. Like, I don't want to get up and immediately edit a video, you know. I want to wake up and ease into my morning by tidying my space. Well, we'll get into the specifics in a second. But the goal is to do things that lead to, you know, your future goals, whatever that may be. Maybe you should sit down and write out goals that you have for yourself, a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, things like that. Also things that better yourself as a human. Just spending quality time with yourself, or even just doing some hobbies that you like that don't involve social media, whatever your hobbies may be. So this time really allows you to enjoy your own life before you enjoy anyone else's, and that's the most important thing. So these are things that I personally do. Not all of them are going to apply to you. Feel free to make your own list. You can steal some of mine if you want. This is just to give you some ideas of things to do in the morning besides be on your phone, but not all of them are gonna appeal to all of you. Number 1, household chores. I know, I just said pick things that are, you know, productive, but not work. And household chores are work, you know, loading the dishwasher, not fun. But I find that this is the best time for me to do it personally, to get it out of the way, because then my space is tidy. That equals a clean mind. You see where I'm going with this? I can't really function if my space is like chaos, you know, so I do need to tidy up. I usually do this while my coffee's brewing in the morning. And I don't mean like full on cleaning the house for an hour. I mean like 10 minutes to tidy surfaces and things, just so it like feels more clean and it just is less stressful to look at. The second one that I like to do if I'm really not feeling like anything at all is morning journaling. So I forget what it is, but it recommends doing like 3 pages in the morning. I don't do that much. If I get a paragraph down, I'm good to go. But this can include anything from my thoughts, creative writing, to-do lists, brainstorming sessions, dreams, writing down dreams I had, recipe curating because I love to cook, you know, researching recipes and writing things down. Like literally anything that's on your mind, just put it on a page, whether it be handwritten or on your laptop or even on your phone in the notes app, you know. I just like to have some like journal writing time to just, you know, get whatever's on my mind out. Usually this is when I get like some creative juices flowing, so that's always good for me. So number 3 is listening to an audiobook or a podcast. No, this video is not sponsored by any audiobook company, although I wish it was, but this would be the perfect plug. But no, it's not. Just listening to something. I like podcasts. I like master classes on the Calm app. Again, not sponsored. It's just what I personally use. Usually I'll listen to these while I'm going on a walk to really inspire me for the day and get me going. I think just listening to something positive, even if you're in a negative mindset, can really help shape your mind for the day. I especially love talks and meditations about gratitude. I feel like gratitude is like the #1 practice that you should look into because it is unbelievable how much it can change your life. Number 4, read an actual book. Read a book. This is a great time to get, you know, check off some books on your reading list. Everyone, I think the average person reads 2 to 3 books a year or something like that, which I fall into that category. I would love to get to a book a month, so I like to sit down and read, whether it be fiction or nonfiction. I have 2 books going right now that are both fiction and nonfiction, so. Or even just reading some articles, some studies, whatever is interesting to you. Do not read the news. Don't read the news because that counts as social media, in my opinion, as negative. So you don't want to do that, but maybe read some interesting articles of topics that you're interested in. So number 5 is something that's specific to me personally, but I like to work on self-help topics that I want to write about in the future. But if there's something that's you're passionate about, like something that you have a lot of experience in and you're passionate about it, write about it. Like even if you don't think anyone's gonna read it, you never know. Maybe you'll end up writing a book. Who knows? Just write down topics that maybe you know a lot about or have experienced yourself, and then see where it goes. See if you can, you know, share any insight on those self-help topics. Number 6 is meditate, and I know that word makes some people cringe, but if that's just not your thing, just sit still for 15 minutes and not do anything. I think that kind of time with yourself of not doing anything and maybe just looking at your thoughts as an observer and not acting on any of your thoughts or, you know, latching on to any of your thoughts too deeply, just kind of watching them pass by like clouds in the sky, whatever floats your boat. If you like to meditate, maybe take 15 minutes to meditate in the morning, but I find it really helpful, even if I can't get into a meditative state, to just sit there in silence with myself, not doing anything. It really helps calm my brain. Next up is exercise. Morning time is a great time to just get that out of the way for the day. Even if it's just casual stretching and it's nothing super intense. I like to do walks in the morning personally. You could do yoga, you know, Pilates, whatever, you know, you want to do, whether you have a gym membership or you work out at home. I like working out at home personally, hate gyms. But just getting in some movement with your body in the morning time is a really good way to start your day, trust me. You just feel so productive no matter what. Even if you don't do anything else that day and you like went on a walk or you like did some cardio, you're like so productive. So number 8 is take a walk. I know I just mentioned walking and exercise and things, but sometimes it's not always about fitness. Most times it's not about fitness for me. It's about my mental health. I think morning time, like I mentioned with the weather, it's the best time to be outside and get that, you know, bright light in the first few hours of the day, which actually helps reset your circadian rhythm, helps you sleep better at night. But also just breathing in the fresh air, even if I don't leave my house later that day or don't do anything at all, like with the exercise, I feel like I did something good for myself and something productive. So I always feel great. I never regret a good walk in the morning. Number 9 is make a decent breakfast for yourself. Even if you don't like cooking, maybe challenge yourself to make something. It doesn't have to be super healthy right off the bat, of course. You could work your way up to being more healthy later, but just make a realistic breakfast for yourself, whatever that may be. But I personally love cooking, so why don't I do it more in the mornings? I have that extra time. Why don't I make a really good breakfast for myself? So number 10 is something that's very personal to me. I don't know if it'll apply to everyone, but writing. Creative writing is something that I've been doing since I was 10 years old, and which, you know, that's 18 years. Although not consistently, because when I went to college, I nearly failed all of my creative writing classes, and I was like, maybe I'm just a really shit writer. And so I got really discouraged, and I didn't write for like maybe 5 or 7 years. I don't even know. It was a long time, and I recently got back into it because I'm like, I decided, you know what? No, I don't care if I'm bad at it. I really don't. It's like a muscle. You gotta work it and you get better at it. I didn't want me not doing well in my creative writing classes in college to discourage me from possibly getting published one day. That's something that's like a huge dream of mine, is just getting published, whether it be a creative writing book of short stories. I write short fiction, or it be a self-help book or something like that. I just want something out there with my name on it. Like, that's what I really want. So for me, I really want to work up to writing every single day, creative writing that is, which that's going to be a work in progress. I really struggle with this and pushing myself to actually write, because I'm actually not that creative, and I know that sounds like I'm taking a dig at myself, but it's true. I'm really not that creative. So those are just 10 things that I have on my list as a go-to for things to do. Wow, that's really loud. I wonder if you can hear that. My upstairs neighbor's taking a shower. Those are just things that I personally have on my list that I like to reference in case I forget and I wake up and I'm like, I don't know what to do today. I can do one of these 10 things and it feels like a good day. I mean, most realistically, I do more than one of these things on the list. But morning time is my favorite time of the day. Obviously, it doesn't need to be yours. You could also apply any of these things or these tips or whatever to evening time if you just want to be more productive in general. Focus on these kind of goals instead of scrolling on your phone or watching YouTube videos, or watching TV, whatever is your vice that you spend way too much time doing, just learning to separate yourself a little bit from it and do things that are more productive, but productive for you. So whatever that may be, whatever your goals are or hobbies are that you want to focus on, do those, you know, make time for yourself to do the things that are productive and that you want to do. Also, drinking game, take a shot every time I say productive in this video. Anyway, I hope this was helpful for some of you. I know it's kind of random, but it's a topic that I really feel passionate about, and I love watching these videos, so I thought I'd make my own, because that's what YouTube's about, making content that you would actually watch. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your tips down below, or anything that you want to spend your time doing in the mornings down below, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.